Commissioner, are you on? Okay, no one's here yet, so it should be down in a minute. It's okay. Did you get the email from Cindy with the updated agenda? Okay. All right. Yep.
Matt, you want to get some commissioners so we get, I think we're two commissioners short of a quorum.
You got a minute. 140
140?
is on the sign.
Yeah. He doesn't sit up on it anymore. He sits on it. Sign.
None of those standards apply.
It's just too much.
We're live. Commissioner.
Scott, our board.
Yep. Everybody's here now, Commissioner Metzger. Commissioner Metzger, are you still online?
Good morning.
Okay. Everyone's here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, that's you please rise. This is third place to lead. Dear gracious and loving God, we thank you for this day. We are grateful for the seasons you have created in this beautiful valley we call home. The vibrant colors of the autumn season. The harvest of the fields remind us how abundantly we are blessed. Lord, we think of the farmer as yesterday was National Farmers Day. We thank you for our farmers who work hard to provide us food daily. We pray that you will meet their needs and bless them. Father, we're so thankful for our farmers. Today we also celebrate the United States Navy as it turns 245 years old. From its origin, when the Continental Congress created a naval force, to thousands of ships and aircraft carriers that protect us today, bless these men and women that serve. We pray for their safety of all the service branches and members. Now you pray that you guys do this meeting. May our discussions and decisions please you. These things we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move over to the chair, that way you can dedicate the mic to the phone.
Have a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. At this time, we'll have public comment on agenda items only.
There's no comment.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to accounts payable, cash requirements.
Heather Lehman.
Morning, Heather.
Morning, Commissioners. This week's accounts payable check run will be issued on Wednesday in the amount of $1,788,305.49. Did you guys have any questions on the invoices for this week?
I don't have any questions.
Did you have any questions, Commissioner Metzger?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roxanne Greco, personnel actions.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Have a motion to accept the cash requirements.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. In the District Attorney's Office, Linnell L. Cromley as a full-time replacement, Clerk 3, pay grade 4, $13.95 hourly, effective October 19th, 2020. In the courts, NDJ Fry, Stacy Jolin, full-time replacement, Clerk 3, pay grade 4, $15.252583 an hour, effective October 18th, 2020. At the pre-release center, Robert J. Thompson, full-time replacement pre-release manager, pay grade 11, $73,783.90 annually, effective October 18th, 2020. In planning and community development, Brandon A. Ball, full-time replacement, community and economic development planner, pay grade 8, $38,548.49 annually, effective October 19th, 2020. In planning and community development, Christopher B. Hodges is a full-time replacement zoning officer, pay grade 6, $32,321.60 annually, effective October 26, 2020. And finally, in planning and community development, Austin J. Daly, full-time reclassification as a transportation planner, pay grade 9, $43,912.73 annually, effective October 18th, 2020.
Okay, any questions or discussion on any of these personnel actions?
No, just to note that these are all replacements, existing people who have moved on, retired, or otherwise left us.
And please, so that the public's aware of, each and every one of these new hires or replacements, we go over these applicants and even the positions before we hire them, and we try not to hire people if we think we can get away with it, but we're taking this very seriously. What's going on with the state budget and the revenues that we probably will not get next year, so. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. This time I have a motion to accept the personnel actions.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Carried, thank you.
We have an informational item Director McDermott's going to present.
Commissioners, I'm just going to read the media release that RMS produced. Title, Muncie Creek Township Recycling Drop-Off Site may be closing due to waste/misuse.
Matt, could you talk into your mic, please?
Muncie Creek Township Recycling Drop-Off Site may be closing due to waste/misuse. Lycoming County Resource Management Services and Muncie Creek Township officials have been working to maintain a clean, safe, and sustainable recycling drop-off program located at Muncie Creek Township Municipal Building. Unfortunately, the recycling site has become a location for unwanted household waste and misuse of the site. Certain individuals have been discharging waste at the recycling drop-off site. Waste has included household waste, tires, and unwanted plastic items. Certain individuals have also been improperly using the site by leaving the recycling next to the containers instead of depositing them into the containers. Leaving such items at the site is an expense to the township and ultimately the taxpayers' dollars for disposal costs and enforcement fees. Leaving such items is illegal dumping/littering. The Muncie Creek Township recycling drop-off site will be permanently closing if this issue does not improve by the end of the year, December 31st, 2020. Muncie Creek Township supervisors will be discussing the possible closure at their upcoming township meeting on Monday, October 19th at 7 p.m. To voice your concerns regarding this closure, you may attend the meeting. Write to Muncie Creek supervisors or call the township building.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. I'd like to address that also, that we have individuals in the community that choose not to obey the rules. They ruin it for other people. Again, as you read, this is an increased burden to those taxpayers there because individuals choose not to dispose of their waste properly and hire a garbage man. We continue to have problems throughout the county in certain areas. We've had several people arrested recently up at West 3rd Street, but they continue to have problems up there. As of this weekend, they had more dumping, and we will continue to prosecute those individuals who choose not to follow the rules because it ruins it for the majority of the people that are trying to do it right.
You good? Okay. We're
Yes,
gonna
thank you.
move on to action items. Maya Tune is 5.1, vote on fiscal year 2020 to 21 medical assistance transportation program.
Morning, Commissioners. This is a subrecipient agreement with STEP Incorporated to administer the Medical Assistance Transportation Program for the fiscal year 2020-2021 year. It's in the amount of $1,491,809, and we've already received the allocation, and this is just, just the housekeeping part of things to allow us to pass through the funds. And Dan's here from STEP if you wanted to ask him how the program has been affected due to COVID.
How's the program been affected due to COVID?
Good morning, Commissioners. I thought you might ask me that, but the program has been affected through COVID. It's doing much better now than it was back in March, April, May. I can tell you when we did the COVID effects on trips from 2/1/19 to 6/30/19, and compare that to where we're at 2/1/19 through 2/1/20. I'm sorry, to 6/30/20. Our trips had actually reduced by 63% from the previous year at that time frame. They have come back, and we're now back up to about 77% of the previous full year's trips. There are still doctors who are performing some telemedicine, but a lot of doctors are seeing patients personally now. We work diligently to have safety measures in our vans as prescribed by the state of Pennsylvania. Social distancing, masks, sanitizing vans, and that nature. So COVID has affected us, but we're still fully operational.
I remember back in 2012 when we were having some financial difficulties with this program, and we were receiving like $16 a trip or something like that, and we were over $1 million in the hole. I see that flat trip rate at $34.91.
Correct.
Okay. What's amazing is the fact that fuel has decreased in the cost. So what is driving up the rate?
Well, the rate is driven back compared to when you were the time period you're talking about to now. The state has required us to go to a flat rate trip, which includes not only the shared ride trips, any out of area service trips we have to make, mileage reimbursement, bus pass costs. So they take all of that into account and come up with a single rate. Their view, it essentially came from some edict coming down from the federal government, CMS, which is the federal body which distributes through Department of Human Services medical assistance funding to the state of Pennsylvania. So that's why you see it up at $34.91. It doesn't mean every trip is $34.91.
Right.
They're taking into account all costs, because unlike PennDOT, where we have a fare structure system based upon mileage zones, as of now, medical assistance does not like that type of funding format. Now, in the future, it may go back to that, where they go back to mileage zones. It may look different in the future, because there's questions at the statewide level, of course, of how MATP is administered. So that's why you're seeing that cost. We try to control costs. We've been able to reduce fuel expenses, particularly through our partnership with River Valley Transit. But of course, you have expenses to maintaining the vehicles and other things which don't necessarily always go down. And we cover a large service area, so that all plays in the part of that.
Have you ever seen a surplus? And what do you do if you have experienced that?
Okay, as the whole transportation program, yes, we've seen surpluses. That money gets funneled back into the transportation program, and in fact, to be honest with you, some of that surplus kind of helped us during the COVID. It probably saved jobs during the COVID-19 crisis, and allowed us to have spread drivers out where we wouldn't have too many people in a van at the same time, and kept us from having to do layoffs. And that's the purpose of the surplus, is to go back into the program to help increase services and maintain individuals. Now, through the MATP program, the difference with that is we get a flat rate budget beginning of the year. And if we go under the budget, of course, through the county, the money gets paid back to Harrisburg. If it's over the budget, then usually what happens is MATP at the state level makes us whole. So the MATP program itself doesn't witness a surplus. Its transportation as a whole has in the past, but that money gets funneled, like I said, back into the program so that we can continue the level of service that we're providing.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan, the flat rate, the way it's set up, does it hurt rural communities because we have sort of a larger area to cover, or are they taking an aggregate amount?
Well, the problem is the flat rate really isn't something that the individual's paying under the medical assistance program. It's just a rate per trip.
Right.
Okay, so the individual's not necessarily paying for that trip. So it could be $34.91 or it could be $24.91. It's not the individual who's paying it. That's just the rate per trip for all the expenses which go into MATP. As a transportation provider, we think PennDOT system is better. The mileage zone rate structure, and we're hoping sometime in the future, now that the broker system, even though it's kind of like on the shelf, it could come back again, but I think the state has decided that's not the ideal mechanism for administering medical assistance transportation. So does it hurt the rural areas? I don't know. We're still able to provide service for the rural areas, but we feel, I think, that it would be nicer if we had the zone rate structure, but probably much easier from a fiscal administrative standpoint of accounting. But it really hasn't hurt us. We've had people use the mileage reimbursement program, and we try to get people on bus service when possible. So there's multiple levels. It's not just shared ride. There's multiple options of service to us, and I think it's helped us a little bit. The bus service expanding to Clinton County's helped a little bit in expanding the service options to Clinton County residents, even though I know we're leaving the county, but that's the whole program as a whole. So,
Okay,
Thanks, Dan.
thank you.
Commissioner, you have anything to say?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I have a motion to accept action item 4.1.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
5.2 Myatune, voting on COVID-related expenditures and subrecipient agreements.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is COVID-related expenditures and subrecipient agreements for the school districts within Lycoming County, which are going to be awarded part of the County Relief Block Grant funding that we received up to $10.2 million. Of that, the school districts will be receiving $3,010,200 as outlined in your document. And basically, that's for a student allocation of $200 a student.
Okay, any discussion or questions on this?
So I just want to say that by doing this, we are committing to education and helping, we hope, to keep down or at least ease some of the pressure on property taxes with the school districts, especially where the school districts have bought equipment for remote. We all see that, from Zoom equipment to Chromebooks to other kinds of equipment for kids who are on hybrid. The good news, I think, is that that equipment is not going to go to waste even if the virus ends, because we're going to be able to use that. And as one of the superintendents, I think it was Superintendent Daphne Bowers from Montgomery, said to me several months ago, or said to all of us, that if every child had a device, it would really be a game changer for the way education is in our county. And that's important in terms of, we have to take the long picture and look at the workforce development. So I think we've made a good choice here in doing this.
And when you see the allocation of the funds, you may see different school districts outside of Lycoming County, Canton, Southern Tioga, and Wellsboro. That's because they are Lycoming County students that go to those school districts.
Commissioner, that's a good point. However, we continue to struggle with many of our rural areas in Lycoming County with broadband. And we need to have broadband in order for a lot of those devices to work. So we need to continue on that battle.
And this for the public is federal money that came out of the federal legislation. By the way, the previous one was also federal money, the transportation program. It's not local tax money, property
No,
tax.
it's a federal grant.
Yeah.
This is part of the CARES package that the $10.2 million was allocated to Lycoming County from the federal relief program. Any further questions or discussions?
Is Bo here? No. Okay. No, go ahead.
Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the allocation of $3,010,200 to the school districts from the CARES funds.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
5.3 Myatune, vote on U.S. Department of Homeland Security, federal fiscal year 2020.
This is the Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement. This is actually for the fiscal year 2019 to 2020. They always do it after the fact. But it's in the amount of $140,791. And as you know, this is to offset the costs of salary and benefits of 4 DPS staff out at DPS by 50%.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
hereby passed.
Jason York,
Thanks,
are you
Wyatt.
on the line? Jason, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Jason, 5.4, vote on contract with Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you is simply year 9 of a 10-year contract that we already have with the Federal Bureau of Prison. It's simply an acknowledgement of the 9th year and the increase in the price in kilowatt that we get, that the federal government pays. This year, with the increase, it's 0.94 cents per kilowatt hour that the federal government will pay. the 2.4 million that you see on that is simply the money that the federal government then allocates in their budget for that. This also reflects the gross receipts tax, and this is a pass-through for RMS.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Any questions or discussions?
So Jason, this is the gas that we make off the landfill. I don't know if you just said that, right?
No, sir, this is the electricity.
Oh, this is the electricity that's created from the gas.
Yeah, this is the electricity part of the contract.
Right, but I mean, it ultimately, the electricity is created from the gas, right? The methane?
Yes, methane.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, right? Because we know that 80% of the waste comes from outside the county, so. All right, I'll move to approve the contract.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, hereby carried.
5.5, Jason Yorks, vote on purchase of recycling roll-off containers.
Yeah, and commissioners, on this too, I have the total cost, a different total cost that we finished up on. So this is part of the next two line items are one and the same, but this first one is with Eagle Truck Equipment for roll-off recycling containers. So part of the CARES grant, we were tasked with if there's anything we need to do in any way that we could provide increased recycling containers so that we don't have a shutdown period. So part of that is we looked at it. We are requesting $180,060 to Eagle Equipment for 15 recycling roll-off containers, and that will give us 8 additional cardboard containers and 12 glass containers that we'll use. And then the next one, because of the short deadline that we had to split the whole order up amongst manufacturers because of such a short window to get them made.
Okay, discussion on action item 4.5. Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Jason, is the second number correct, the 166,770?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, and that, Commissioner, same thing. Now, this is for 18 containers, and this is the plastic boxes that we're doing. Now, what we'll also be able to accomplish through this movement is we're going to be eliminating all the steps at the drop-off. These are all 44-yard containers. A lot of our old containers were in pretty rough shape anyways, but we were able to, we're trying to make all the sites we can large containers, eliminate the steps, and that'll increase our capacities so our pools are more efficient too, so we're not pulling smaller boxes.
Yeah, that's good, because we also saw at times when during the snow and the ice, those steps become
Yes, sir.
a problem, especially for our senior citizens.
Yep. And that's $166,770.
Jason, I know these are large materials, but is there any way to get our shipping down on that? It's almost $15,000.
We did try, sir. Unfortunately, this firm's, I believe this is Waste Quips out in Jersey. We did try that. Kind of, the biggest problem is it's middle of October, and we have to have these all back to us December 31st.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
A motion?
I'll move to approve the purchase from Waste Quip Inc., $166,770.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Thank you for your time, Commissioners.
Thank you, Jason.
5.7, Shannon Rossman. The way I wrote this down, I believe is incorrect, but approve CARES allocations to the following learning centers. and
Good morning,
you'll clear that
Commissioners.
up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is to approve the COVID CARES allocations to, the initial allocations to the following learning centers, and also their sub-recipient agreements that we are required to do along with that. And as you know, we have three alternative learning centers. We're handling these different than the nonprofits. They may also have a nonprofit that they're applying for funds, but we ask them to apply individually for the alternative learning centers, which is where they're handling students on the days where they're not able to go to school, so that the parents are able to work while the kids are actually at a learning center and being helped with their school. We have the Community Theater League, which is handling 75 students. So our initial allocation for them is $22,500. We have the Camp Susquehanna, which is handling 200 students. So our initial allocation is $60,000. And Fire Tree Place is handling 48 students. So their initial allocation is $14,400. And what we'll be doing is they'll have to provide us with the documentation of expenses prior to receiving the funds, and then as they give us the additional expenses, we'll be cutting checks. And then if they exceed these amounts, then we'll be coming back to the commissioners for an additional allocation. Our initial thought was that this was going to be more expensive, so we had initially thought about $1.5 million, but some of the school districts, I believe, went back to school earlier for full-time learning than we initially thought they might, so it's been reduced significantly. So we'll be able to spread those additional funds out to other allocations.
Okay. And I think the public should be aware of the team that we put together to allocate these funds. I think it was Jenny
Pachano, Maya Toon, Kristen Moyer with CEDACOG is our main lead with CEDACOG, myself, and I also have my admin staff has been great. Any questions, they've been calling the different entities and asking for additional documentation and clearing up a lot of the paperwork. So it's been all hands on deck.
Yes, and
for these funds.
It is something that you did not anticipate having to do during a budget year.
Yeah.
But what was amazing is the cooperation and that we've seen and the hard work Kristen has been doing from CEDACOG for us. There were many questions asked.
There's still many questions.
Yeah, that we did not have guidance.
You just got one this morning.
There you go. And how critical is that? Because any of the monies that certain counties would spend and it wasn't allowed to would have to be returned by the taxpayers. So a tremendous effort, and my hats go off to you and your team and CEDACOG for your effort in trying to really stay focused on what is permissible and allowable.
And just for your information, as an aside, we are meeting today to talk about the small business grants program. We received almost 170 grant applications, but we'll have a recommendation for you by the end of the week.
And our thanks also to the organizations, Camp Sus, Community Theater League, Fire Tree Place, for putting together places where kids from all different parts of the county are able to go so that we can get their parents working and keep their parents working and make sure that the kids are safe and that they're actually able to learn. We just learned the other day at the Community Theater League when we did a tour, and that was fantastic. I mean, they have a great program there and working, one-on-one with kids. So it's a testament. Also thank the superintendents from the school districts who have really had to be on top of everything in terms of this COVID, and it's not been easy. But I echo my colleagues' comments and thanks to the planning and the other departments here.
Yeah, I hope we can get back to our regular planning duties soon now. We've got a lot of projects that are getting backed up.
Yeah. And by the way, this is one of the reasons why it's so important to have, good departments throughout the county, because when a crisis hits like this, and whether it's a flood or whether it's this, and you know, the federal government steps up and state says, okay, here you can do this, but you've got, you know, less than 6 months and you've got to put it all together. And they were able to do that, so.
We help with the floods too. Could we not have one of those anytime soon?
Yeah, right.
Please.
No promise.
It may be welcomed, I'm not sure. I'm looking at that river and it scares me.
Rain, yes, flood, no.
Okay, any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
We'll move on to commissioner comment.
Commissioner Metzger, you have any comment?
Not at this time.
Okay. Again, I'd like to thank that committee and CEDACOG. They're great partners for Lycoming County in so many ways. I'm going to go back to our personnel and our hirings. It is difficult right now when we see requests to put additional personnel on, especially to some of those departments that really could probably use it. But we have to tighten our belts. And we've done a good job. It appears that we're going to be in pretty good standing by the end of 2021, which is a blessing for us. Even not knowing what we're going to be receiving from the state. But unless, and I can't emphasize this enough, unless a reclassification or reorganizing is going to benefit the taxpayers as far as reducing the cost, please don't present it to us. This is just not going to happen. And you know, we're even discussing right now, you know, purchasing another building or leasing it for the coroner and district magistrate's office and the DUI court. Very, very difficult time though to make those decisions. We will evaluate it, but we have surplus property as well as many landlords out there have surplus space, warehouses, office space. Now is probably not the time to do so. So I just want the taxpayers to know that the three commissioners are doing our best to predict what we may be receiving from the state and trying to respond accordingly.
You know, last night I had an opportunity to talk to a gentleman who I used to serve in the legislature with, and I asked him how things are looking with the budget, and he said that the state budget, it was very, very dismal in terms of the deficit, which they're predicting at this point to be about $5.5 billion, but the ability to close the gap. And there are various funds that exist, just like we have various places to try to pull money together, but you also have to get all the ducks lined up, and they're usually never going to line up at the same place. So I would be surprised if we didn't see the state continuing the cutbacks that they initiated in the 5-month budget in some of the other places. Basically what he said to me was, without federal help, we're going to be in a difficult situation. So I think that Commissioner Messer, you make some very good points, and that we need to be cognizant of that. I also think we need to look out to 2022 and really start to plan now, because we may close the gap this year, but if we don't take some actions now, it may be difficult the following year. So we'll keep an eye on that also.
Okay, thank you.
Public comment? I don't see any, and there's none online, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
We completed our agenda. Our next scheduled meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 20th at 10 a.m. at the Commissioners Briefing Room. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For calling in, Scott.
Thank you.
Okay, so, I think Jerry didn't have to be here, right? It's on autopilot, Jerry didn't have to be here,
right,
it's set up automatically.
it is, I'm just not sure when it will end.
Yeah, so that's fine, we're going to our office.
Yeah. Do you have anything to discuss, Commissioner Malavito?
How are you?
Fantastic.
That's good.
Shake hands.
No, we open.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr.
How you doing?
Doing.
Yeah.
Can pay some bills now.
You're what?
I can go pay some bills now.
Oh,
go.
take care.